We all have our ambitions and aspirations of where we want our career to go to in the next 5 or 10 years. My initial passion was just how amazing and how pretty much 100 years of science has led us to this point where we get such amazing imaging of soft tissue structures without any ionizing radiation. Generally, it's easier and quicker to get advanced modality training in small private practices compared to large public hospitals. All up, it took about 3 years from when I started there to when I first got my training as MRI radiographer. He was in the machine for about, I think it's about 3 hours below zero temperatures. If I'm wrong, cut it out. But
not cutting it out.
Yeah.
After picking radiography, you mentioned you're focusing in MRI. I know for a lot of places or people that's difficult to get into. Could you just briefly share your journey of how you got into MRI, maybe why you were interested in it to begin with, so if someone is interested in that pathway, how they could go about it?
Yeah, as a radiography student, we all have our ambitions and aspirations of where we want our career to go to in the next 5 or 10 years. Some might be angiography, CT, sonography, chief management, chief radiography, MRI. I really aspired to be an MRI radiographer because I really did actually enjoy the physics and science behind how the modality works. Now, in the day-to-day, you're not really too much tinkering with the physics and the science. You need to understand it to optimize your imaging, get the best quality imaging for the radiologist. So you do need to know the science behind it. But I think my initial passion was just how amazing and how pretty much 100 years of science has led us to this point where we get such amazing imaging of soft tissue structures without any ionizing radiation.
And was it a moment in time where you saw an MRI image that you said, that's what I want to do? Or was it advice that you heard from certain people and that, that's what led you to it?
Probably the story of the first MRI was actually really interesting. It was done, actually the first MRI of a patient was done before the first CT of a patient. So that's an interesting fact that I always like to bring up because it's actually interesting.
We'll try to link that down below. If you want to read that in, but I didn't know that. That's
cool. If I'm wrong, cut it out. But
not cutting it out.
It was of a scientist's finger. He was in the machine for about, I think it's about 3 hours below zero temperatures, freezing, and the image they got was just one axial cross-section or short axis cross-section of his finger. Horrible looking picture, but the fact they could do it, and this was in, I'm almost certain, the early 60s, was amazing. And the guy's still alive as well. The patient, he was the junior scientist to the, can't remember the scientist's name, but yeah, I think just the early advancements in science really got me passionate in it.
Fantastic. And just a follow-up question on that. Since, from the moment you expressed interest in MRI, and you're working clinically as a radiographer in X-ray and CTs, which is what we usually start off with, how long did it take you to, start the MRI training and therefore start working there?
I think I was aware I wanted to do MRI as a modality before I got my first job. I think it helped me tailor where I wanted to work. This is just a general statement. It's a very general summary of radiography as a career in New South Wales. Generally, it's easier and quicker to get advanced modality training in small private practices compared to large public hospitals. So I think that's firstly, I was thought, well, I really want to get an MRI. I don't want to spend 10 to 15 years trying to get there. So I wanted to work somewhere that was a private practice. Didn't matter if it was private hospital or suburban private practice, still within Sydney. I was really picky. It took me 6 months to find a job because I was really picky. I just wanted to work in either the CBD of Sydney or the Sutherland Shire. So I got the CBD. And then from there, just working hard, not going in on your first day and telling everyone, I'm in X-ray department, but I want to be a, MRI radiographer. You got to take your small steps before you take your big steps. All up, it took about 3 years from when I started there to when I first got my training as MRI radiographer. I'd say it was a bit thanks to COVID. Once COVID started, we had a few staff members leave. It was a slow period. of business for a private hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had the opportunity to train, and management offered it to me. So yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I very much agree with you get trained up easier in private practice. However, the ceiling of how much you get paid is not there.
That's a big difference.
So then what I've seen as a trend and sort of with colleagues I've previously worked with is they start off in private practice, they train up in CT or whatever's available because you just have to, right? Like, so there's not that many staff for the amount. So you just get trained in it. Then when you reach that ceiling, that's when you go to one of the bigger hospitals and say, hey, this is my experience.
Yeah.
And now I'm able to sort of upskill and get a better grade for your pay as well.
And that's just generally, because I know there are private hospitals that do have really good pay.
Yeah.
It's very variable. There's no clear yes or no rule.